you've got to remember that the primary focus is on spiritual energy. And the golden rule or principle is you cannot return to the same place or person, right, that took your light energy in exchange for dark energy, okay, after cleansing. So to do so would essentially be reinfection of the dark energy and would require an additional cleansing, right? So if you were with somebody who was a murderer and you slept with that person, right, and you've cleansed, right, to go back to them is to put yourself back in square one. The same with an abortion and a miscarriage. Both man and woman need to cleanse. And if a man is the one that says, I'm not going to cleanse, or the woman says, I'm not going to cleanse, the one cleanses and the other one doesn't. You guys meet up again, you sleep together again, even if it's 10 years afterwards, right? You have reinfected yourself with that same isnyama despite your cleansing, and you need to go cleanse again. Right? Same thing with the space, okay? If we are at emathuneni, ugeza ngesiqunga, right? It's a herb, it's quite commonly available, and right, and other things as well, right? If you're gonna go back to emathuneni the following day, you gotta cleanse again, right? No intimacy for 3 days. I mean, sometimes people say 1 day, but 3 days is always a good golden rule. 3 days after cleansing, no intimacy with anybody. Even between yourselves as partners, if you've both cleansed, just no intimacy for those 3 days, just to make sure that, because remember, we're bringing back spiritual balancing. And as we're bringing back the spiritual balancing, we don't want to reinfect you with different kinds of energies. Yes, your partner's cleansed and you have cleansed, but there's varying kind of energies, and you don't want to expose, whilst your ancestral spirit is coming back into its own, you don't want to keep exposing it to different kind of energies, even if that is the energy of your cleansed partner as well. The animal must correlate with intention. Very important. The chicken versus the goat, which one do I use? A lot of people make the mistake of choosing to use a chicken when they really should be using a goat, but that's because they don't understand the intention of the cleansing, which is a process I'm going to take you through in just a bit. So sometimes ukphalaza may be needed, especially for those that have been ingested. If you're having dreams where you're vomiting or you're waking up nauseous after those dreams, then chances are you do need to go for ukphalaza and need to get something out of you. Yes, guys, ukudliswa. People think ukudliswa just for the sake of love. Abantu bayadliswa for a variation of reasons. Sometimes umuntu angadliswa so that I'm unable to speak to you, clearly, or I'm unable to articulate my thoughts, or when I do speak, abantu bayanyanya, and they get disgusted when I speak. So ukudlisa, guys, it can happen in so many different ways or shapes or forms. Also, sometimes you can catch something that's not necessarily intended for you. If you are with another person, right, and bafuna ukudlisa yena, right, but you happen to have a sip or drink or a bite of whatever they have, right, you catch on to that, So sometimes it's not necessarily you just happen to be wrong place, wrong time, and you are and you just caught a stray. Sorry about that. Cleansing doesn't, and this is the most important part, guys, that I want everybody to understand, right? Cleansing does not mean that you should not go see a psychologist or a therapist or be busy doing the personal development on your own, right? The only thing cleansing can do is spiritually put you in the best possible position, right? For the therapy, for the psychologist, and for the personal development to work. You need to couple cleansing with personal development. You need to couple cleansing with accountability and responsibility and growth, okay? You cannot cleanse, because if you don't do that, guys, you're going to keep going back to the same person, right? Or the same space or the same thing that actually was the reason you had to cleanse in the first place. So if you are going to cleanse and you're going to make the decision to cleanse, you must understand that this is the beginning of umsebenzi wakho that you need to do to move past this point in your life. All right. Very important thing, because people think that all of a sudden, okay, I've cleansed, therefore I can relax and I'm sharp and I can go back to my ways of living. No, you can't do that. The whole purpose of cleansing is to give you a second opportunity or another opportunity at life to do better and be better, right? You can't keep going to cleanse, for killing people, right? You can't keep going to cleanse to kill